Catching the world's 7th spot in tennis at 24 years of age? Absolutely fantastic. Andrey Rublev doesn't fall short on that. Grabbing the racket and ripping it down the ball, he seems to be having it well-rounded. Rublev, also known as Andrey Rublev, is a Russian native who has taken the tennis world by storm. With his game knowledge and skills, this young kid has earned a reputation for himself in tennis at such a young age. Rublev is a gifted young guy who has risen to the top of the singles rankings for the first time in his career. Parents: Arina Marenko and Andrey Rublev Sr. Rublev was born in Moscow on the 20th of October 1997 and was given the birth name Andrey Andreyevich Rublev, a junior of his father. He also has a half-sister named Anna Arina Marenko, who is also a tennis coach by profession. His maternal grandpa, Andrey Fyodorovich Tyurakov, was a professional freestyle wrestler and also an amateur tennis player during this time. Arina Marenko, his mother, is a tennis coach who has worked with players such as Anna Korakova. He had a lot of toys, teddy animals, and a soccer ball, Marenko said of Rublev's upbringing, but we've seen his favorite were the racket and tennis ball. Rublev's father had Austrian origins, according to his grandmother, Larissa Genrikova Rublev. He constantly expresses gratitude to his paternal grandparents for caring for him 5 days a week until he was 15 years old. Being toned out for sports has not been a far cry for his family. Both his parents are also athletes in their own field. Andrey Rublev Sr. used to be a professional boxer before becoming a restaurateur, and Arina Marenko, his mother, is a tennis coach. Rublev has excelled in tennis since he was a child, winning numerous titles during his junior career. In 2014, he defeated Jean Mounard to win the French Open Singles Championship. He won a bronze medal in singles and a silver medal in doubles at the 2014 Olympics. Rublev debuted at the age of 13 and went on to win the Orange Bowl, the highest junior championship, in 2012. He won the Potchefstroom title in South Africa in 2014 while he was able to complete his junior career after competing in the Junior Masters in Chengdu, China in 2015. He was able to make his ATP debut in 2016, but because of his poor performance, he decided to part ways with his coach, Sergei Tereshevich. In the same year, he won his first Challenger Championship in singles and improved his tennis rating from 208 to 161. He reached the finals of both the Open de Rennes Challenger and the Next Generation ATP Finals in 2017. Only 3 times in his career has the young sensation reached the quarterfinals. Until now, he has reached the quarterfinals of the 2017 US Open, 2020 French Open, and 2020 US Open. Girlfriend Anastasia Khomutova. Anastasia Khomutova is not just a tennis player, but is also a coach of the said sport. Khomutova was born in Latvia and has lived in Moscow since she was a kid. The two met at a tennis session back in the year 2016. At the same, Andrey and Anastasia were decked out in their late teenage years at that time, and their romance has since progressed quickly. Anastasia has been one of the main supporters since the beginning of his professional career. Only her closest friends and family are aware of Anastasia's quiet, reserved demeanor. Currently, the lovely goddess works as a tennis instructor and represents the Women's Tennis Association, or WTA, but she is not nearly as famous as her partner Rublev, with whom she has been in a loving relationship for nearly half a decade. She is polite and patient with her students, supporting them and bringing forth their greatest talents in the sport. She is sincerely passionate about the sport and does not do it for the money or the celebrity status that usually comes with it. Her primary concentration is on her work, but she has not revealed much of her future plans out in the public. Andrey Rublev hasn't revealed much of his personal life online, except tennis-related photos and holiday photos, so there isn't much information about his personal life, including his relationship with his girlfriend, Anastasia. Deals and endorsements. Andrey has already established himself as one of the world's most successful young players. To date, his abilities and skills have helped him win numerous matches and competitions. Such high-level matches pay him considerably more than a regular or leagues held locally. Rublev is said to have curated an estimated amount of $10 million in his career. Seeing the bright future for his stance, the said amount will likely double in the nearest years. Rublev is currently endorsed by Nike, a leading sports apparel company. Wilson, a major tennis equipment company, has a partnership with the Russian star as well. Rublev is also a part of IMG's athlete roster. In addition, he has a deal with the 4 Slam Tennis Academy. Andrey's plays, skills, and talents have garnered his honors. He is such a deserving athlete because he has put a lot of work into improving his talents and talent in the sport. In 2013, and again in 2014, he was nominated for the Russian Cup Team of the Year award. He also won the ITF Young World Champion Award in 2014, which is a big accomplishment for a junior tennis player. These prizes reflect the player's value, and it gives a big margin of how good the athlete genuinely is. Rublev has the potential to become one of tennis's greatest players in the future if he continues to play at his optimum potential. Inspiration. Andrey Rublev spoke out about his mother's troubles during his tennis career. The tennis star managed to get out of his comfort zone and shared a little bit more about himself. As he prepares to compete in the third edition of the ATP Cup, the Russian spoke to Eurosport Russia on a variety of topics, including his early tennis career. Rublev gave an anecdote about his mother's struggle when asked about the Russian Tennis Federation's support when he was a teenager. "I recall how my mother had to continually stand up for me, knocking me out to get things, and the Russian Tennis Federation did not help as much as it probably could, despite the fact that I was always one of the first in my class." Rublev continued by explaining why players that were ranked lower were favored over him. "I recall trying to get some kind of betting for the players when I was about 12 or 13 years old. But they were given to guys who were worse than me, either because their ratings were lower or because I beat them. My mother had to make an exception for me, and after some time, I was ultimately awarded this rate." Rublev's parents found a sponsor through Andrey Bokarev, a well-known Russian billionaire, when they were trying to find a way out of that difficult period. Bokarev will soon become a major supporter of Russian tennis. Rublev's tale reveals that he experienced numerous challenges as a tennis player while growing up, and that by overcoming them, he has now established himself as a unique figure of the ATP Tour. Andrey Rublev, along with Tsitsipas and Zverev, is one of the favorites to win a major title in the future. Only a few other sports legends have ever followed through on commitments made by this young man. In the next few years, Rublev will undoubtedly be compared to tennis giants such as Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. His stats, if you sift through it, will not lie and is a concrete testament to why he deserves a spot on the top. This could be one of the most coveted rankings for any tennis player. He has yet to win a Grand Slam championship, but as a young player, he has plenty of time to do it. He made history as an under-18 player by winning at least one ATP title out of 5 in a single season. Among the two young players, he was one of the two who achieved such a feat. He has yet to win a Grand Slam competition, but that will undoubtedly change in the near future.